September 25th, the new Fox Tuesday kicks off with New Girl's new season. Then welcome Ben and Kate.
Stay away from my sister before you find out what 6 years of Krav Maga feels like. Well, like year and a half plus like 4 years on and off I was traveling.
Followed by another all-new New Girl.
What am I looking at here? Pure, unadulterated friendship.
And the Mindy Project.
Can't believe you're tattling.
Tattling is when a little girl does it, okay? When a hot woman does it, it's called whistleblowing.
The new Fox Tuesday, premieres September 25th on Fox.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show.
Hello. Bing is for doing, and we are doing another recap of The New Normal here at AfterBuzz for you. This is Season 1, Episode 2 and 3. That's right, ba-bam, 2 episodes for you guys right now. Episode 2 is Sofa's Choice, and Episode 3 is Baby Clothes.
It's really weird not having intro music. We do So You Think Can Dance and not having like a theme song to like open up to.
I know. That's a good theme song too.
It is so good. Is there a theme song to this? I haven't even noticed yet.
I have not noticed.
Nor have I. Sitcoms rarely do these days.
Do you remember that? Can I just back us up a little bit? I know we're all of age to talk about like 80s sitcoms. Do you remember the theme songs in the 80s?
Phenomenal.
That smile again.
Show me that smile.
Or the Facts of Life. I mean,
we can go on and on, but let's move back to our. Great. We need a theme song for The New Normal.
Yes.
Somebody chime in, call in with an idea.
Right one.
We're going to sound like idiots if there's a theme song.
I know.
Like, these are the worst hosts ever.
Or they're going to look like idiots because nobody remembers it.
It's not catchy enough.
Good call.
Think
Good call.
who's the boss, people.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with Episode 2, Sofa's Choice. And we open up with a drawing on the expensive sofa, whom we all think that was done by Shania. And Bryan has a great reaction to this ruined piece of furniture. But what this really brings us is that to think about is Bryan and David coming to terms with the idea of having a child and what this is going to do to change their lives. And this episode is sort of about how they come to grips with this. What did you think about this episode,
AJ? Because episode 1 ends with us not really knowing for sure if
Goldie is
pregnant. Exactly. This episode in general I hated, actually. And I thought the pilot was one of the best pilot episodes I've seen of a comedy, of a sitcom in a long time. Probably since Modern Family a few years ago. I hated this episode, though. Without going too much into detail, I understand what they're trying to do with this episode, and I understand that episode 2 is a very difficult one to do. You put your heart and soul into the pilot because you want so bad for a network to pick it up and you want it to be successful. Then episode 2, there tends to be a letdown, so I'm just going to
It's like a sophomore album to an artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
It can take up to 4 or 5 episodes for a new series to really find the rhythm. It's the cast also trying to sort of gel and find their characters and what they're all about. And same thing with the writers. They're trying to do the same thing. And I think we saw an uneven episode with episode 2.
Yeah, it just seemed kind of all over the place. Like, I understand what they're trying to do, and I appreciate it to a degree. But whereas in episode 1, I felt like every joke just made sense, and they nailed it. They probably spent a lot of time on episode 1. It's a pilot. Episode 2, I felt like they didn't really understand what they were trying to do with it, and I felt like they were just trying to build on episode 1, but I felt like a lot of the jokes just seemed a little bit racist and a little bit homophobic for no reason.
So you're saying, I remember last week you talking about the intention behind a joke, and maybe this week you felt the intention was weak or you didn't really feel it, so when they told a racist joke or a joke that would offend people, the intention didn't bring you through to say, okay, I can laugh at that. You were more offended, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they were going for the cheap, expected punchlines.
Okay.
And I understand it. I actually have had this issue personally in my life recently where I assume that people understand my humor. So when I start to feel comfortable with somebody, I go there. And I definitely, this is my type of humor the show is for sure.
Well, we know Ryan Murphy goes there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll make a comment that could seem racist if you didn't know me, or could seem homophobic if you don't know me.
That happened last week.
It happened last week,
I watched it.
actually. And you were there. And I had to remedy that situation because I've learned that sometimes I can be offensive to people, I can be hurtful to people. I felt like watching this show was just this episode 2 was just like watching something I'd just gone through myself. So yeah. I give it a pass. I wasn't happy with it though. I thought it was just a little.
I'm glad you say that because I feel like I thought it was funny, and I'm on the flip side of what you are feeling. But I know that there's probably a lot of people out there that felt like that. I thought it was funny, and I was like, I just felt like the pilot episode, like they were just kind of making jokes, and I felt the intention was strong, that I knew that they weren't trying to offend, but that was just my opinion.
I actually also thought it was very funny, and there were a lot of lines that were easily missed. And in fact, Lauren and I watched this together, and there were a lot of times where Lauren was like, wait, what did he just say? What did he just say? And that, I think, happened a lot. Just some of the lines, I'm going to run over a few, where Bryan said, look at what that miniature Sally Jesse Raphael did. And I have OCD, obsessive chic disorder.
And then Nene Leakes said, this is why my people spank. And that was funny.
Just like lines that they said really quickly.
Yeah.
And
the banter is very fast in this.
Right.
So you
and
have to,
a lot of lines that one could easily miss that are very funny.
And I love that type of humor. I love the type of humor that you really have to pay attention to. Like I've loved in the past. I've loved shows like, I don't know if you remember any of these shows, but like Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, I thought was one of the most genius television shows ever made. But it's very highbrow and very, very liberal, very written towards a certain demographic, and Middle America just did not understand it. This show, I feel like the writing, they're trying to write it towards Middle America, which I appreciate, because you have to do that to get the show to stick around for a while so it can really start to have an impact. But as a super liberal gay man living in Los Angeles, I felt like a lot of these attempts at humor were just, for me personally, they were just beneath me. I'm like,
hitting you over the head.
Yes,
obvious.
I'm like, oh, I get it.
But you got to take one for the team so Middle America can catch up to you.
I understand that, and that's why I'm trying to give it a pass, because I understand that most people watch this, that sort of humor is new to them, interesting to them. Just today, I actually went to, I was telling you ladies about this a moment ago, I went to a taping of The Talk on CBS, and the guy, the warm-up guy who gets the crowd going for the show, he's a friend of mine, but there's a lot of jokes about gay stuff, because 98% of the audience was women in their mid-40s to mid-50s from the Midwest, and they thought it was hilarious. To me, I'm like, I've heard all this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So I have to remind myself sometimes, like, I'm not the population.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. But yeah, no, the funny lines were, I got them, and you said that you think they were funny too. I liked how they introduced this specific situation to show you that this is the kind of stuff that happens when you have kids. Like I take care of kids. I've been a nanny for a while, and a lot of people say, I'm out with a girlfriend at the mall, and they're like, look at that cute baby. I'm like, you have no idea what that takes. Like, and these are the kind of things that you need to think about. If you have expensive furniture and a kid draws on the furniture, like happened here, it's gonna throw a wrench in the game a little. So
build juice on that white couch, like that happens.
You have to think about that kind of stuff. So I thought it was interesting how they introduced it, and how then Bryan and David started to discuss how this would really affect them, and then it brought them to say, let's go on a date like we used to. Let's just get back to that. And that was a cute scene. What did you think of that scene?
I loved that scene. I loved that scene.
The
I
flashback.
loved everything about it. Yeah, the flashback of how they first met. And I love them.
I love when they have those like tender, intimate moments together. I love them, and I love Justin Bartha, and I think he's so cute, and I want him to be my boyfriend.
Well, that's the thing about the show. That's what bothers me the most, I think, because I think they have a cast of characters that are they're established actors. They're really, really talented, and those are the moments that I really enjoy. Whereas the two men, what are their actual characters' names? David and
Bryan.
And David is, who's the one who goes shopping all the time?
That's Andrew
Bryan.
Reynolds.
Right. Okay. there was a scene in the third episode. We'll talk about this a little bit, but and they do this a lot throughout all these episodes, where he'll go on and on and on these rants and be like over the top flamboyant.
Who is this? David.
Yeah.
Oh, Bryan.
He'll be over the top flamboyant, and whereas David just kind of doesn't say a word, and I feel like there's more being said in the silence of David than sometimes in the jokes of Bryan. So I just wish sometimes they'd allow these characters to have real human moments instead of pounding us over the head with the obvious punchlines and the obvious
stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what bothers me, because my life isn't a stereotype. Personally, I'm not a stereotype. And I think that a lot of gay men probably feel that way. So I think I just view it through different lenses.
Yeah.
And I just wish sometimes, but I'm also trying to remember, like, I am a stereotype to a lot of people.
You are to a lot of people, and I think this is, like we talked about last week, this show is a stepping stone to having a show where it's not about a gay couple.
Yeah.
If it's 2 men or 2 women, it's just a show about a couple, and we don't have to talk about them being gay, and we don't have to talk about any of this.
It reminds me of being 20, to be honest. It reminds me of when I came out when I was 20, because I went through this.
Yeah.
I had to beat my parents over the head with it to get them to deal with it. I had to throw it in my mom's face over and over again for her to ever get to a place where she was kind of comfortable with me being gay. Now she's phenomenal. And now we're so far past all of that, it feels, to me, I think that's why I kind of push back against this show a little bit, because it feels like I'm going back there.
That's a very, very interesting observation about yourself. And I think that it's, there's a lot of people like you watching this show, and they might feel the same way. So yeah, I think hitting someone over the head with an idea might be a little annoying, but then for another part of the population, it's
and I would like
gonna help.
I would like the rest of the population to get to where I am
catch
now.
up.
Yep.
So I guess I sit
We
back
live in
and-
the Los Angeles bubble, and
Yes.
that's where
Yes.
we're viewing it from. So.
Yeah.
But we did kind of talk about this last week, and I brought up I Love Lucy, and Lucy was really zany, with shopping, and Ricky was very handsome and collected, and so it is a lot of the same stereotypes, but a new stereotype.
Yeah,
so.
it's just different when it's directed towards you, I guess, because
Sure.
I've watched all these shows growing up as knowing who I really am inside, and so I never was able to really relate to them. I Love Lucy, I've seen every episode, but now to see 2 gay men portraying a relationship on TV, something that I hope to have someday, it's different. It's
Sure.
different, and and there's that natural pushback, but I enjoy it. I think it's a funny show.
Yeah.
And it's the natural foundation of comedy. There's the straight man, and there's the goofy one. And I mean, straight as in
straight as in
Yeah.
straight
The
as
masculine and the feminine.
like
Yeah, of
the
course.
Odd Couple, for
Yeah,
example. or-
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, this is all very interesting insight, and I'm sure a lot of people watching are feeling these different opinions, and this is good to hear. I want to get back to so they go on this date. They try and rekindle this. Let's be young and fun. And David says, "I'm wearing my young outfit." And it's that tank top.
Oh, that was awful. It's
I
hilarious.
thought he looked cute.
I did too. I thought he looked kind of hot.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
And they get to the bar, and they are like, I mean,
I'm sorry, I just have to take time out with this. He was wearing like a tank top and a fedora.
Oh,
it was
hot.
not.
But he's just in
Armpit
Bartha,
hair.
and he looked hot.
But you know what,
And
though?
he has muscles.
That is, I'm sorry, that is like the gay uniform in West Hollywood. It really is.
that is
I'm
true.
sure they would know too.
Yeah, and the club they went to, I actually used to work at that club.
What was it?
It's actually Voyeur on
You
Melrose.
used to- that's where they were at.
on Santa
Voyeur?
Monica, I mean,
Yeah,
Voyeur.
it's on Santa Monica.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
you can
well,
tell by
well.
the large chandeliers in the background and
Yeah.
the glass boxes.
Well. So they're out at Voyeur, and they're having a drink, and they are being so cute and funny and talking about, did you tape Say Yes to the Dress? Yeah, it's on season pass. And then this cute young boy's like, hey, you guys want a piece of this? They're like, you're too young for us. They realize, hold on, we are holding on to something that we don't need to be holding on to. This child is going to come into our life and change our life, but that's what we want. That is what we're ready for. And they immediately leave, and they go and they see Goldie and Shania. But speaking of Shania, how cute was her Little Edie impersonation?
She stole the episode easily.
Phenomenal.
I mean, from Grey Gardens, she impersonates Little Edie. And first of all, I love that. And who said that they wanted to be her for Halloween in the show? Brian's character said, I was going to be her for Halloween. And I was like, you stole the words. I was almost going to dress up as her last year for Halloween. I am doing it this year. I am going to be Little Edie for Halloween.
And who actually
You can be
wanted
Shania being Little Edie.
I'll be
Right.
exactly.
One of you
Taking her
ladies
to
said
level.
that she actually does that in real life. That's why they
That
wrote it
was
into the
me.
show. Okay.
Yeah, I actually read an article this week that that is her real act in real life, and it was so fantastic. They said they wrote it into the show because they're like, how could you ignore this?
Her voice was dead on.
Spot on.
Yeah.
So this little girl is quirky in real life too.
She's so cute. It shows through. And then Bryan kept trying to jump in on it with her. Like he wanted to relate. He wanted to relate to her so badly, and the only way he could was like, oh my gosh, she likes this like this gay like. What would you call it? It's like a.
It's an iconic they're like
theater. Greg
it's
Arns
like
in theater. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
it's like a following. There's a big gay following around this documentary.
Yeah, there are certain things in life that gay men just gravitate towards. Mommy Dearest, Grey Gardens, Cher,
Judy Garland.
Yeah, Judy Garland. It falls into that category.
And Grey Gardens falls under this category. And so he sees this, Bryan sees this as an in to Shania, and she keeps shutting him down. He imitates her. He tries to imitate and do the little eating. She goes, she's not Kate Hepburn.
Because he did the whole like shaking voice.
The shaking. Oh my gosh. And he keeps throughout the episode trying to do it. And he's like, but that one was close, just admit it. It was so cute to see him.
Had it not been for Shania in this episode, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it that much. I actually did, going back to what you were talking about a moment ago, I actually did enjoy their interaction at the club. I thought that was cute because I related to it.
Sweet.
That's one of those tender moments that we all love.
Exactly. And I love that because a comedy doesn't have to be just like the same shtick the entire 30 minutes, punchline after punchline.
Right, can't be.
As a 30-year-old, I'm like, I get that. I have the little boys who hit on me, and I'm like, what? I would never even consider you.
Do you have that moment? See, I'm around your age. Do we have that moment at a club where you're like, what are you doing? I am too old for this. This music is too loud. I'm like, oh,
like, what am I doing in this club?
I have that moment all the time, and I think back, I'm like, I was never like that. But then I look at these kids. I look at kids now who love like Lady Gaga, and these little young gays all over West Hollywood who are obsessed with Lady Gaga. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, really? I was never like that. But then I think about
who was
10
it for
to 12
you?
years ago, Britney Spears. I had long blonde hair that I used to flat iron, and it was like feathered out, and I would go to the clubs and flip my hair like I was living for Jesus, and I'm like, I was exactly that.
And you were like, it's Britney, bitch. That's
exactly.
What was your favorite Britney song? We were talking about tonight.
Slave for You.
Oh, duh.
I would have dance-offs with guys on like other blocks at clubs when I was
Did you learn the
kid.
choreography?
Of course I did.
I did too. I mean, I'm not a gay. Maybe I'm a gay man.
I learned the choreography to NSYNC's "Tearing Up My Heart" video when I was in high school, and my sister, who was a few years younger than me, came home and saw me doing it, and I wasn't out yet, so I told her she had to learn the choreography with me, so that someday if my friends ever asked me why I knew it, I'm like, oh, my sister told me.
The New Normal needs to do an episode about this. And by the way, speaking of NSYNC, I have to. Who was your favorite?
Oh God, Justin, of
JT.
course.
Yes. I love you. I knew I loved you.
He's phenomenal.
Okay, so back to the
Is
episode.
that even like a question?
I know, right?
Well, everyone loves JT.
But some people like JC.
Ew.
Really?
Who?
Yes, I
Who
had
are
a
these
friend.
people?
I had a friend that was her favorite.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
John?
Watch out, John.
John, you a JC fan, huh?
Our producer likes Okay, see,
Does John not?
You're
does,
fired.
Does John not have the most soothing? I'm not going to say sexy, but I'll say soothing voice you've ever heard in your life.
I think it's kind of sexy.
It is a little sexy.
Ooh, hey.
What's up, John?
Late night.
So, okay, so we are going to also, Goldie had Bryan and David had this, coming to terms with the baby in this episode, and they started to realize that they were, ready for something that they didn't think they were ready for. And we liked seeing how they met and how at the end of the episode, I think Bryan's insecurities about dealing with a child were obviously taken care of when he could connect with Shania, and all of that came to a nice, pretty close. And then Goldie had a really nice evolution as well. We kind of saw her dealing with, I think, Shania and worrying about why she was acting out and why she was like, would she say, are you not okay with who you really are? Is that why you're pretending to be?
Right. Well, that and, we saw Goldie first accept Bryan and David's generous offer to stay in the guest house, but then say, this isn't right. This is the life that Bryan and David earned. It's not the life that we earned. And, Shania, whose pseudo-maturity just grows every week, said, well, what about me? What about my needs? And she said, you're an old soul, but you'll realize that I need to be a strong woman so that you can be a strong woman one day. And so that was, I think, a big step for her. And also that was the husband came back and almost fooled her.
Well, I think it's important that she's trying to teach her daughter that lesson, because
Totally.
the opening episode starts off with her making this big change and showing the world that she doesn't need a man, and teaching her daughter that you can stand on your own 2 feet. And had she taken that offer to move into their guest house, I think that would have just
It's the easy way out.
I liked that she said, I didn't want to get too comfortable. And I also liked that when the husband came back, she almost fell into his trap, and then she...
Well, not just his trap.
Well,
Nana's trap.
Nana's because we realized that everything he's saying, we're cutting to Nana coaching him into saying
which was kind of funny.
Which was kind of funny. And then, of course, he stopped paying attention to Nana. So then once she asked him a question about trust, he couldn't answer.
There was a girl in a bikini on TV.
And he was just distracted.
With a dolphin.
A couple dolphins, actually.
Yeah.
And so who wouldn't get distracted by that, naturally? So he couldn't answer her. Oh, you wouldn't?
I just raised my hand.
Yeah, he wouldn't get distracted. So he naturally, she picks up on this. Goldie picks up on this, and she kind of backs off. And I like when he left, he said, the husband was walking out the door and said, I'm not going to leave Shania. She needs a man in her life. And Goldie said, you know what? She already has two.
That was my favorite part of the entire
episode. This is what this show is about. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is. It doesn't matter if you're a loving man, woman, whatever the combination is, and you have a good example for a child, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is all about. That one line to me summed it up really nicely.
I think, in all honesty, as we discussed this, I think my issue with the show is, while I appreciate what they're trying to do, I think my real issue is that it just really, really frustrates me that this has to be a conversation still. I think that's the hard part.
And there's a lesson every week. It does feel like a very special episode of Blossom every week.
Yes. And I'm just like, I think I'm like, can it just be funny on its own merit? We don't have to talk about the fact that they're a gay couple trying to and try to point out the bigot at the store and whatever else in episode 3. I think that's why I get frustrated with it, because I'm so comfortable in my life, and my family and friends are so comfortable with me in my life.
Why is it even an issue?
Exactly.
Why is it even? I completely agree. Unfortunately, a lot of people just aren't ready for that yet. And like I said, I think this is a stepping stone. But yeah, it shouldn't even be a discussion. It should just be about.
I love my co-host for being so.
Oh well.
But
supportive.
this is a good point though. This is kind of a stepping stone from Modern Family to the new normal, because again, we'll talk about this in episode 3, but they didn't kiss for 2 seasons on Modern Family.
Oh, they're kissing all over the place in this, Mother,
which is great and fine.
I love it.
Yeah. And who cares?
It doesn't even. It's not a thing
it's a
to
non-issue.
me. It's a non-issue. Every time they kiss, I go, oh, just like you would when you're watching a man and a woman or
when you're
whatever.
watching The Notebook with Ryan Gosling.
I mean, come on. They love each other, and it's cute, and it just doesn't matter. And they're both really cute, too, so who cares about that?
They have a very dear relationship.
They do.
There's a sweetness to it that I think you like.
I'm a little jealous for all of our viewers and listeners out there.
I'm jealous, too. I want that sweet relationship, too.
I do, too.
Of course.
Ugh, love them. Before, does anybody else have anything to add to episode 2?
Are we all single? Wait, you're not single.
I'm not single.
Are you ladies single?
I am.
I'm single.
Call me Justin Bertha.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, man.
Don't look at me.
Or Justin Timberlake. Not taken yet. Not taken yet, Jessica Biel. Does anybody else have anything to add?
Just really quickly, the episode did wrap with her officially being pregnant.
Thank you
so
for adding. That was
kind of a detail.
Kind of a big deal.
Hi, I'm paying attention. Yes, they did not. I thought they were going to cliffhang us again, and I was getting really upset. And then we find out through the blood test, it's official.
I predicted that, and everyone disagreed with me, I think.
Goldie is... I don't think I did.
I said they'll drag it out. They dragged it out for one more episode.
Whatever.
So I was kind of right.
I think I said, you're an idiot. I think that's what I said. I was like, there's no way.
So she's pregnant. Goldie is pregnant. Yahoo. Love it. And before we move to episode 3 and our topics with that, I just want to remind everybody about iTunes. And we love when you go to iTunes. So please go to iTunes, rate and comment what you are.
5 stars.
Yeah. You didn't hear that. That was
so like Molly Shannon Saturday Night Live right there.
5
stars.
Sweaty balls.
Superstar. Tell a friend, rate and comment. We love hearing what you have to say. 5 stars.
Yeah.
But give us feedback. 5
yes,
stars.
Please
5 stars.
give us feedback. We really
Only
appreciate
positive.
Yeah, it's so important, you guys, that you tell your friends. Like, that helps us to get more listeners. It helps us to get more comments and the more stars, and we can become better and better at what we do.
And celebrity guests.
And it helps us to keep the lights on and to bring you more shows for free.
Yeah,
So
which is
holla.
Cool. I'm not mad at free.
I'm not mad at free either.
Okay, Heather Thompson.
Sorry, I love her.
She's awesome.
We could talk about that forever too.
I tweeted her from Prague. I found like a sign that said "Holla," and she tweeted me back.
We're talking about the housewives for a second because I just quoted.
We had
Heather.
her on our show.
I
She's great.
heard dying.
She sent me a pair of Yummy Tummy jeans. It's amazing.
We take a picture on Twitter and put them on Twitter.
Yes.
I want to see what they look like.
Stop it right now and don't act like you don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. I know I'm the gay man in the room. I have no idea what any of them are talking about.
We should probably get back to our show though.
We're going to talk about back to episode 3. So we are, like I said, we're recapping episode 2 and 3. We're on episode 3 now. It was titled Baby Clothes. And this episode, we had some interesting things. We had a really weird situation with us watching it because we couldn't decide what they were trying to do with the guy at Loman's who was having an issue with watching Bryan and David kiss. And then shortly thereafter, I think it was like the next scene with David in the line at the gym, and there was a mentally disabled person in the front of the line and somebody in the back of the line having a problem with the mentally disabled person, and then a fight broke out and someone was called gay, or was he called a fag?
Called him a fag.
Fag was used, retard was used.
Yes.
I want to like back up at Loman's. I wrote the quote down, and the guy said, "Well, that's disgusting. I feel bad for that poor kid."
When he said, "We're having a family.
Baby.
We have a family too."
I think the point of this is everyone's a little bit racist. Sometimes.
Oh, Easy Avenue Q.
Yes.
Okay.
There's some little Broadway thrown in.
My.
That really was a lesson.
That was an interesting topic that we all, I think, are kind of torn on. And so we started, I don't even remember, how did this episode start? Why am I? Oh, Shania at school.
The
baby clothes.
The baby clothing.
Baby
He's
right.
talking about, I want my baby to fit in Marc Jacobs' fall line. I want it to be a little bit on the smaller side. I don't want my baby to be
He
fat.
wants the measurements to be
He wants the Marc Jacobs
12, 8,
test.
12, 8,
Yeah.
12. And they have that group meeting with the adoption specialists, and they talk about all of the tests that
could show defects such as red hair.
Right, and I loved that.
I'm a redhead.
Are you?
In real life,
Are you a real ginger?
I'm a real
You're a
ginge.
dying breed.
I am.
I love gingers.
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that face.
Love me.
Oh my gosh, that all makes sense now. So Bryan's character really wants to celebrate the birth of the baby and the fact that they're having this baby, and how he sort of manifests that excitement is let's shop, let's buy baby clothes. And David is trying to bring him down a little, like, we've got some test results. You have to wait 12 weeks. You can't just start doing stuff like this because what if something's wrong? And so we see this interesting dynamic again with the difference between them. One of them really is like, let's have fun and live life, and the other one's very reasonable. And they're both very different people, and this is how they clash in this episode.
I thought it was interesting. I wrote down that I thought the pacing of this episode was much better than the last one. It was really quick right out the gate. I really enjoyed that.
Very Aaron Sorkin-esque
Yes,
dialogue.
Yes,
totally.
Yes. And then also I said that while I normally think I would relate more to David's character, I think I'm a little bit more like him in my relationships. In this episode, he was a little more reserved. He doesn't want to buy clothes, whatever. I'm a little bit more like Bryan at the beginning of this episode because I don't have kids, but whenever I get into something new, whether it's tennis or I want to start swimming again or whatever, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go buy everything.
Obsessed.
Like my camping gear. I'm gonna go buy everything for camping. I'm gonna become a camper. I buy all these things. I do it once, and I'm like,
You manifest your excitement through buying
so I
the
go
product.
buy things. Yes. So I cannot tell you how many pair of gym shorts I have. Like, I want to start working out again. I'm going to buy 3 pair of gym shorts, and that'll make the difference. No, it doesn't work that way.
Some people think that's going to motivate them to,
Yes.
but in this case, we all know that we were introduced to Bryan as just a shopaholic. So that's clearly how this excitement is going to come out for him. And Bryan's a doctor. So of course he's going to say, or David's a doctor. So he's going to say, well, wait, we need to wait for this amount of weeks and these test results happen. And they all get a little scared thinking about it, but, we end up finding out that everything's okay, obviously, but we'll get to that later. And then Shania is given some of the baby clothes by Bryan, and she turns it into a shirt. It's a little skirt. She turns it into a shirt, and she gets a little attention from the boys at school. The girls don't like her so much, which is a very, very honest assessment of how it really goes down. And the boys gravitate towards her. She meets Wilbur, and they have a little...
Wilbur, that's such an ugly name.
Well.
Except
for the Wilbur that's listening to us right now, we don't think that, right?
We love you, Wilbur.
Wilbur,
Wilbur
no.
the pig from Charlotte's Web.
I know.
Yeah, he's a pig.
And the cute one.
This little boy was pretty cute, though, and kind of funny and like a little schmoozer, and he was totally all up on Shania. And,
got game.
And Nana walked in on them having a little kissy-kissy.
Yeah.
But Nana was more worried about what she was wearing than the actual act itself.
The first thing she said was, "What are you wearing? And then
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
And of course, Nana freaks out about this because she's watched it happen to her daughter and then Goldie, and now she's watching it happen to her great-granddaughter, this young sexual exploration that really makes her nervous.
And in all fairness, because she's a Republican. But anyway, she also said that she was a grandmother by age...
Bam!
She was a
down.
She was a grandmother by age 34.
Yes.
Right.
So she does not want to see that go down again.
Break the cycle.
I can't blame
And wasn't
her.
there a kid in like China last year, a kid at like age 6 or something? It was all
I
over the
don't-
news. So I mean,
Wait, what?
What happens?
No,
yeah,
wait.
it was
say
like
that
the
again.
second youngest kid in the world to ever have a child was at age like 6, like a Chinese kid, like a few
How
months
was
ago.
that possible?
Well,
Don't know.
obviously she was ovulating at a very young age.
Hormones. No, you know
And
what
then
it was?
how was...
It was the meat and the protein boost in the shake at Equinox.
Oh,
It means
my.
vote yes on Prop 37 in Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
No, genetically modified foods.
There
Yep.
you
Oh,
go.
there we go. So we go back to the shopping. Goldie decides, I want to take, Shania's a good girl. I want to take her. I'm going to get her some nice clothes too. That was so nice of you guys to get her some clothes. And that's where the Lomans incident happened.
Yeah.
We're in Lomans. The boys are shopping.
Well,
Goldie's shopping for Shania, and the boys are there, and we can't find Bryan. And of course, lo and behold, he's in the baby clothes section.
It's interesting that you call them boys.
I do that all the time.
It's so common. But that's something that I hear that most people, because most of my girlfriends
It's not gay men that I call boys.
No.
It's just men I call boys.
Yeah.
I'll even say...
I don't think that at all, but I know a lot of my friends always call gay guys boys.
Oh, no, mine's not
Gay
a gay...
boys.
Let me just be
Boys
clear.
Town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. I do not... It's for all... I think it's because of the type of men I've encountered in LA.
There you go. Fair enough.
And I literally will be like, I met this really cute boy tonight, and my friends are always like, boy. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's a generalization
Which
for
is
all
why
men.
we're all still single, except
So-
for Kristyn.
The men are the men are shopping as well. We see
Men are shopping.
we see Bryan in the baby clothes section, obviously, and David's like, I told you we can't do this. And they have another nice little tender moment where they kiss, and we have a bystander that sees, and he is very vocal about he's with his wife who has red hair. And
Defect.
the daughter and a little girl, and he is like, what, could you not do that in front of my child? I don't want to have to go home and explain this to her. And David and Bryan, or Bryan says, we're having a family too, and we're in love or whatever. And he says, well, that's disgusting, and I feel bad for your child. That was hard to hear.
Mm-hmm. That was a rough one for me.
That was tough.
I didn't really enjoy that scene very much.
But I guarantee you there's a million people out there who think that and probably have said it.
Oh,
And
I've gone
that's
through it.
The worst part of it all. That's why it's so hard to hear.
Oh, yeah, I've gone through it a million times.
That was not a like, ha ha, let's be funny. That was like a hit home joke. Not joke, line.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that they went there, because that's something I've dealt with in my own life. Being so confident and not, I don't shy away from things at all, because I think for me, that's the best way that I can change minds and to change hearts, even more importantly, is by just being me and not hiding from things. So I appreciate that these characters are just being themselves in public. I really do enjoy that. To hear the line from that guy hurt, probably because it's so familiar to me. What hurt even more, and this I hate this part, and this part gets me a little bit emotional actually. The little girl, their daughter, the look in her eyes when she saw the way that her dad was laying into these guys, and he's like, I want to explain this to my daughter. What do you have to explain to her, love? And that's what they said to her. And that's what they said to the guy. Like, what do you need to explain to your daughter?
And that little girl, the actress was, I'm sure, asked to look confused, because what little boy or girl is not understand? I mean,
hatred is learned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that again was the moment, like in episode 2 that we talked about, where the ex-husband or the husband said to Goldie, I'm not leaving Shania behind. She needs a male influence in her life. And Goldie said, she already has 2. That was that moment for me in that episode. That was this moment. That little girl's look was the moment for me in this episode.
And you're seeing like a lot of the politics play out that we're seeing in 2012 for the election year. It's playing out in episodes like this on a very simple level. And, I don't know if it's going to change any minds and stuff, but we are seeing it played out in the press. Whether it really matters or not who is our candidate, because it's really about the economy, but they always take stances on certain issues.
And especially somebody like
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy. I mean, he likes to push the envelope.
Of course.
And you've got an election coming up. Of course he's thinking that right now. He's got this new show on the air. It's getting all this attention. He's trying to push the envelope in whatever direction it is that he wants it to go, which is
He can
pretty
do whatever
clear.
he wants.
Yeah. I think it's interesting.
I think the scene that touched me more was after that, and I was like feverishly trying to write down notes.
Yes,
but
I know. I agree.
When Bryan and David were talking about this after the fact, and Bryan was folding up the baby clothes to return them, and he's on the verge of tears, and he was saying the guy's not the problem, we're the problem because we're expected to just not say anything and not respond. And what kind of message does that send to our kid when we don't stand up for ourselves? And I don't want them to feel that kind of pain. And what are we supposed to do to protect our baby from hate?
He said, I'm not crying for me. I'm crying for the idiots that our kids are going to have to see and hear and deal with. That kind of a thing. Yeah, that was a really nice.
Can I just say how much I adore both of you right now for bringing that point up? Because I could not agree more. I think that this is a comedy. We're talking about a comedy, right? No, I think that.
But with a serious issue, though.
Absolutely, and I think that I've had so many friends. Like, it's hard for me to remember. I came out 12 years ago. I'm very secure in myself, but when I see friends going through it now, it's so hard for me sometimes to remember what that was like and to see all of the hate for themselves that has been planted inside of them by their parents or by their churches or their schools, their society, whatever it is. To try to unlearn all that is so difficult, and to see like this kid in this one episode, and to see them that's their worry is that there's the children. Because that's the generation. The next generation is the one that's really going to change things. We're in the process right now, but we've had to reverse a lot of the ways that we think. I've had to do it, and I'm gay. Right. I've had stereotypes about gay men my entire life.
Sure.
Because I was taught them, even though I knew I was one of them.
Sure.
So to ask people who aren't gay to come around, that's a tall order. But I love that you ladies brought that up, though, because I think it's a very, very poignant point to this episode.
It was huge, and I think that this episode also was kind of all-encompassing about that next generation that we want to influence. And with that, with this situation in particular, it was about bringing a baby into the world and what kind of things are they going to have to face, and what kind of hatred and obstacles are they going to have to face?
And how do we protect them from that?
And how do we protect them from that? And Nana, although she is on that side of the hatred, in order to like her as a character, we have to latch onto something with her. And she was actually doing the same thing in this episode. She was trying to protect the next generation she's trying to break a cycle too. And although it's kind of wrapped up in her snarky, racist, homophobic remarks, she's doing the same thing that these guys are doing.
And you have to do that because you can't just make a villain so...
Of course.
Right. The fact that you don't want to hate her all the time, she has to have some sort of humanity to her.
They try and make...
a softness.
They try and make her funny, but they're also trying to show her she's got a story too. She's got an agenda too. She's watched her daughter and her granddaughter and her great-granddaughter now, where she fears becoming part of this cycle that she thinks is not healthy and not okay.
Right, and I think it's also very important to point out that just because I have views on this issue, obviously based on who I am, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only view out there, because it's obviously not. And her character is a lot more like a lot of people than we may realize. And to have a character like her is great, because what it does, I'm a firm believer that the only reason there's any hatred in the world is out of pure ignorance. That's all it is. And anybody who's ever gotten to know me has come around. And I think that that's the best way to change people's minds, is by being who you are and allowing them to come into your life and see you for who you are. So I think that her character is doing a great job of, she's finally, she got an outfit. It said something on it that it wasn't very, polite, whatever. But she's slowly coming around. So those people in Middle America or wherever else that maybe aren't so keen on this whole like gay marriage or gay adoption or gay in general theme that's kind of like evolving throughout our country right now, it gives them somebody they can latch onto. Because if it's a show about a whole bunch of liberal gay people,
it'll never work.
Right.
I mean, that just tunes them off right away. But if somebody can watch her and be like, I kind of agree with her, and they slowly start to get one step closer.
She represents why the show is on.
Yes.
She represents the people that we're trying to help see. Maybe the point is, you're going to say this joke and sound a little ridiculous. Maybe it's hitting you over the head, but maybe someone will watch it and see that agrees with her. That does sound a little ridiculous. This doesn't really make sense.
Sometimes people need to be hit over the head a few times.
That's what I'm saying.
The only reason my mom, years ago when I came out to her, the only reason she ever really came around, because I used to throw it in her face. And for me, personally, that worked. I forced her because she never would have looked at that part of my life had I not done that. So sometimes people do that as an approach that works. People need to be hit over the head sometimes.
And we're seeing the evolution in television. I mean, if you want to go way back to the 70s and look at Billy Crystal and his character on Soap, how much that has evolved. You go to Will and Grace, and that's its own evolution to Modern Family. And even Modern Family, which only started, 3-4 seasons ago, look where we are with the new normal. Again, it's not a perfect show, but however, it's progress.
It's a lot closer
Leaps
than we
and
were
bounds.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And also, before we wrap up a little bit more of this episode, I know that we have a little bit of Fox interesting Fox news to bring to the viewers.
As much as we do love the new normal, and we do, it's one of my favorite new sitcoms of the year. The new night of comedy, you guys, is Fox Tuesday nights, premiering on the 25th of September next week at 8 p.m. The new girl is back with another all-new episode. Zooey Deschanel is absolutely hilarious in the show, you guys. If you guys haven't watched the show yet, if you didn't catch it season 1, you have got to tune in. I think, in my opinion, it's the best ensemble cast since Friends. She's hilarious. Every character in the show the pacing is dead on. They've got their rhythm down.
Love it.
New Normal's still working on it. New Girl has it down. So that's going to be on 8 o'clock, followed by the new show Ben and Kate. Critics are calling that the breakout comedy of this new season, which I have not watched it yet.
Did you ladies watch it yet?
It's funny.
Yeah,
I can agree to that. It's very good.
I'm a fan.
Very good.
Well, that's not where the night ends. Again, we have a second episode of New Girl on at 9 o'clock, followed by what I think is probably going to be my favorite show of the new season, The Mindy Project. Mindy Kaling is absolutely hilarious. Kristyn and I have talked about this a couple of times. She's the next Tina Fey. She really is hysterical.
She totally reminds me of her.
And she's unlike anybody on TV. To have an Indian American woman leading a comedy the way she does, her comedic timing is flawless.
I like that she's curvy.
Yeah, and a woman that's a comedian, and she's Indian, and she's
struggling
curvy,
through
and
relationships.
I love it all.
Yeah, and she's writing the show and exec producing, and I've seen the episode twice.
So if you guys are down for some old school comedy that is on the cutting edge, Fox Tuesday nights, September 25th, premieres at 8 o'clock. You guys have got to check this out. I promise you will not be disappointed.
All their shows are pretty darn good, so
Fox
definitely
is
tune in.
bringing their A game the last
They
few
are.
years.
I got to watch Ben and Kate.
Yeah.
Ben and Kate is great. I highly recommend
If
it.
you can't wait till next Tuesday, it's available on Hulu.
Nice.
Now.
Nice.
I'll watch it tomorrow.
So tune into Fox on Tuesday nights starting September 25th, guys, 8
Boom.
p.m. So yes, but now back to our show. We love how, we just talked about Nana having her own agenda, and everyone's kind of looking out for the new generation and what cycles they can break and how they can make it better for the children. And I think that's kind of like a nice assessment of, or a nice evaluation of the show.
I love her character in the show because it's very important for people to remember that it's so easy sometimes to think, and I struggle with this too, that when people don't agree with you on something, it's so easy to want to scream at them and tell them they're idiots, to tell them that, how can you not, you bigot, you hateful, homophobe, whatever, because maybe you feel like you're so evolved that you're at a place where they're not at yet. Whether that's true or not, it's irrelevant. Her character reminds us that, you know what, she has the same hopes and dreams for Shania that Goldie has. They come from two different perspectives, but that doesn't mean that either of them are necessarily wrong or right. They both want the same thing. You look at, and the show is on the perfect time. You look at the political climate in this country right now, and I think that it's fair to say that people on both ends, on the right, on the left, they all want the same thing for this country. They want our kids and our grandkids to have a place, to call home someday and to still be this great nation that we all grew up in. They come at it from different approaches, but that doesn't mean one's necessarily always right and always wrong. I think the show does do a good job of that, especially with Nana's character. It helps you relate to somebody who you're like, okay, I can kind of understand her a little more. The end result is the same for her and for Goldie.
Exactly.
They want Shania to grow up happy, healthy, and end up in a loving relationship, and to be different from what they both did. They both had children young. They want a different future for her.
They're looking out for the future generation, and that was obvious in this episode. And of course, Nana had a nice tender moment, as she did in past episodes we've seen, where she said, of course it was wrapped up in a little bit of her funny jokes, but she bought Bryan and David a little onesie. She said, oh, I just, I wanted to congratulate you, and, now Goldie's pregnant, and they open it up, and of course it says, please help me. And she wanted it to say, by calling Child Protective Services with the phone number, but she held back. She ends up having dinner with them. They invite them all to eat dinner. Nana agrees to stay with, of course, the enticement of wine.
Yeah.
And it all ends very, very nicely. We see they're all kind of coming together.
And it turns out she and Bryan have a, similar sort of racist sense of humor, so they can...
It works.
Yeah, it
they
works
had
for
that
them.
little racist funny joke.
And I think, and I don't know you ladies very well yet, we've only done a couple of shows together, but I think that I know for me personally, I can relate to that part of her character, Nana's character. We all tend to hide what we're really thinking and really feeling, especially the older we get. It's harder to be open and to really just be yourself with people because you've been hurt in relationships or whatnot, friendships. Me personally, I tend to hide things with humor. Snarky comments, like witty comments. If I feel like I'm getting too close to somebody, I'll either be real badass for a little bit and act like I'm like whatever, just all tough, or I'll just make a joke if things get too serious for me. I didn't used to do that when I was a kid. So you think Nana's what in her?
We build up defenses
exactly.
as we get older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you see that with Nana. They're slowly starting to chip away, but then
they're chipping the wall down. Yeah,
she still reasserts herself every now and then.
Of course, I mean, she is. I think it is funny to hear her do that at times. I mean, maybe it's a little overkill now and then, but I think Ellen Barkin is funny, and she does a good job with that
for sure.
So that was episode 3. We covered 2 episodes for you guys. Sorry about the technical difficulty last week, but I think we're going to move on to some news and gossip. How about that?
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, I'll start. I'm prepared.
Yeah.
So, speaking about Nana, there was an interview done with Ali Adler, and they spoke a lot about the character of Jane, and they asked, is she going to become more tolerant and accepting? And Adler replied, hopefully we're trying to create characters that are people, and as much as people change, I think all of these characters can change. No one's ever going to be something that they're not, and hopefully she can learn and grow from her experiences. She's gotten a lot of comparisons to Archie Bunker, and she didn't want to do that.
Oh, wow.
But she said, I think the best moments are when we keep the characters who they are at their roots. So she's never going to, she said later, we see an amazing side of Jane, but I don't think she's ever going to become that cuddly Nana. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that they're going to keep it real.
I think so. I think that's good. I like that too.
Yeah, it's unrealistic to think that somebody like that would just suddenly become like, oh, yeah.
Then there's no conflict on the show anyway, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So I like that. And then the L word alum, Leisha Haley. Am I saying that right? Leisha?
Leisha
Haley. And Entourage's Constance Zimmer have been tapped to star on The New Normal as the new lesbian couple.
Ooh.
I love Constance Zimmer.
And I like that they're bringing in a lesbian couple.
And a cute lesbian couple, because the lesbian couple in the first episode from Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm from Ohio.
It's
a fair representation, but come on. I'm with some hot, lipstick lesbians.
Yeah, you like the lipstick.
Some LA lesbians.
Yeah.
They'll appear in the 7th episode of the season as a couple that are good friends with Bryan and David. The Big C co-star John Benjamin Hickey is also slated to guest star in the same installment as a pivotal character. Further details about his part, for which he started shooting Monday, are being kept under wraps.
Nice.
1 Million Moms is still up in arms about this.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
Wait, the Ellen 1 Million Moms? Those 1 million moms?
Same ones.
There's really 50,000 of them. We're clear on that, right?
There's not 1 million of them, I know.
There's not 1 million of them, not even close.
So they're upset that in Central Time, New Normal airs during prime time, so kids may see it, and
oh no, learn to love and
they
other people.
use the word, they're concerned that the kids are being desensitized to
hatred. I mean, that's what it is, really.
Right, let's talk about it. You have a remote control in your house. You control the remote control. You tell your kids you
be
can watch
a parent and don't leave the room for hours and let your kids sit in front of the TV and not know what they're watching. Tell them no if you don't like it, but you really shouldn't tell them. I mean, this is
kids in Ohio. It's on Hulu. You can watch it there.
And not only that, I mean, I don't care who you are. This is not an appropriate show for young children. The language is not appropriate and the subject matter is not appropriate. But if you're old enough, it shouldn't be a problem to watch this. There's not a bad message happening.
Yeah,
However,
gay or straight, the comedy is inappropriate for kids.
Agreed.
But yeah, just be a parent.
Exactly.
And NBC has been leading in ratings the last week anyway. Don't know about this week. But New Normal itself taking 2.5 million viewers, both the premiere and the following episode.
So it's holding steady, which is good news.
Holding steady.
2.5 is more than 1 million. right?
It sure is.
Those 50,000 moms.
Yeah.
Snap.
Oh,
I see what
she's
you
witty.
did there. I see what you did. Yeah.
Just doing a little. I'm really good at math.
Clearly.
All right. Well,
do you have any news and
is there
gossip?
any other?
Oh, no, I think we're good.
I don't. I just have a prediction.
Okay. Well, then AJ can't hold himself back. Let's get into predictions then.
And now, your AfterBuzz
Yeah, do that.
TV
Give it a little. There we go.
predictions.
It makes it more creepy.
It is creepy.
All right, AJ. Well, you're ready to go.
I really
so.
don't have a prediction. I just wanted to hear the music. No, I predict that Nene Leakes will be back next week. Where was
No.
she? She wasn't in episode 3.
No.
She's coming
Nene
back
Leakes.
strong.
She is funny though, and she is the diversity we need on the show to say the ridiculous stuff. She's the character I believe that can really put Nana in her place, and I cannot wait to see them go tit for tat later in the season.
They're really good. I know that they've been trying to ease Nene into the show, but
Because Nene's not an actress, but I will give her credit. Like her lines, she's delivered them.
she's
does
good
it.
at playing herself.
And you know what? That's not an easy thing to do because some people think I need to play the idea of what you want to see. She actually has it down. Honestly, who she, or unless we're seeing someone different on the Housewives and who she really is, the character we see on the Housewives, if that's truly her, that is who we're seeing on the show. She does a good job of being her.
She's
And that
doing
is
it naturally.
It's hard. It's harder than it looks, guys.
Just so we're
It's
clear
harder than it
though,
looks.
this picture right here is so altered because she is like 6'2" in real life.
Way
There's
taller.
no reason there's no way they're all the same height.
Justin Bartha is not as tall as Nene Leakes.
Justin's like 5'6". I think we've determined that.
And
this
that
week.
doesn't matter because I will wear flats, Justin. I'm just throwing that out there again.
And let's just talk about real quick this one right here.
Oh,
Little BB Woods.
She is
So
so
cute.
talented.
Yeah.
I was saying who do they call her the next?
Abigail Breslin.
Abigail Breslin.
That's right.
She'll get nominated for some awards very
I hope
soon,
so.
I believe.
I
She's
love
a
her.
talented young
There's
actress.
your little
Is that
supporting
another prediction?
actress.
Yeah,
I
that's a
love
prediction.
that.
Watch
They're
out for her.
First here.
Emmy
Okay.
supporting actress 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's good.
We've had Is that your prediction?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll do
okay.
it. We'll do it.
I'll back it up.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna predict that we're gonna have a really funny, I think that Goldie's character is having cravings in the next episode, and I think that we're really gonna see Bryan's neuroses come out, and probably David too, because he's a doctor. They're both gonna get very what are you putting into? He even said, hopefully
fast food.
She was swallowing a burger. He said, hopefully you're bulimic, and that'll come up before it touches the baby. Yeah, so inappropriate and so amazing.
They're voting yes on Prop 37 on genetically modified
Them?
food. Yes.
Yes, they are. Gosh. Well, next week we will be back with episode 4 for you guys. Thank you for tuning in and listening and watching. And sorry that we had to cram 2 episodes into one, but we love talking about it. We love buzzing about the new normal. So we will see you guys next week
At our normal time.
At our
Yes.
normal time.
Fantastic.
See you then, kids.
And I'm gonna plug myself really quickly.
Oh yes,
Yeah, go
please.
for it.
I'm so sorry.
I'm Anna Koppel, and you can follow me on Twitter at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPELFORMAYOR.
Ladies first, you're up.
Okay, and you can follow me on Twitter at Lauren Leonelli, Facebook, Instagram, and my website under the same name.
At Kristyn Burtt, and you can find all of my stuff on my website, redcarpetcloset.tv.
Hey, you guys, follow me on Twitter at _AJ Gibson and check out my website, ajgibson.tv. Thank you.
See you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.